to nearly 20,000 odd crore. But most importantly, yes, Greenco is likely to buy the EPC division for 10 to 13,000 crore, and that's exactly what led to good amount of news flow in Reliance Infra as well. So yes, good amount of debt resolution probably in the way there, but at a rather slow pace.
Okay. All right, Poonam. Thanks very much for giving us that quick update. It's going to be an important issue that we'll keep focusing on. Biocon, in a moment, we'll be touching base with the management. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw will be joining us with more details. The stock has just about managed to get into the green zone. No, it's still down about 0.5%. The US FDA has extended TAD for biosimilar Herceptin, and that's an important trigger that's firing up the stock. Ms. Shaw, great to have you on the show. Thanks very much for taking out the time. Can you tell us about the biosimilar where the target action date has been delayed? What does it really mean for the company?
Well, the news that we are sharing with you now is about our dossier submitted for our biosimilar Trastuzumab, where, if you recall, we had indicated that the target action date that had been given to us by US FDA almost a year ago was the 3rd of September. But we have recently received a message via Mylan, our partners, that this target action date has been basically extended to the 3rd of December. As the US FDA have informed us that they require a little more time to review our dossier. Now, this is, I believe, not unusual because this is, of course, for us the first time that we are submitting a dossier for biosimilar approval. But when you look at other biosimilar dossiers that have been submitted, many of them have seen this extension in the review process. So that is what we have just learned.
Right. Ms. Shaw, can you also explain the benefits of biosimilars that you're garnering right now, which are different from generic approvals? There will be a lot of back and forth with the regulator before the launch, I'm guessing. Is that true?
Yes, certainly that is the case, because as far as biosimilars are concerned, these are very early times for biosimilar approvals, and as you know, the regulatory process is evolving as we basically develop a pipeline of biosimilars. And the US FDA itself is, of course, trying to approve biosimilars and evolve the process concurrently. So we believe that we are likely to see these kind of review processes which require these kind of extended review timelines. But I'm sure in the near future, as biosimilar approvals become more frequent, I'm sure that the process will be simpler. But having said that, I think there is a big difference between biosimilars and ANDA generics. Because there is a large clinical development component. The CMC package itself is also very, very complex. And therefore, this part of the review process that the US FDA is talking about in terms of extending the timeline pertains to the CMC package. As you know, our clinical data package has been approved by ODAC recently. And the GMP part of the regulatory process has already seen us provide a set of CAPAs to some of the 483s that were, pointed out. So I think this is a regulatory process that is quite complex and quite time-consuming, unlike what one has to do for the ANDAs.
So, Ms. Shaw, do you think this kind of a delay will also help Biocon to get GNPA compliance quickly?
Well, as you know, these are early days for biosimilars, and I think everyone is learning as we develop biosimilars in our pipeline. But certainly, I think this has been a big learning for us. I think the whole review process, the clinical development process, and the GMP, inspection for that matter, have all basically been big learnings for us. And I am sure that as we move along, we will be much more confident of obtaining these approvals in a manner where we have a good understanding of the regulatory requirements.
Sure. The next milestone to watch out for is FDA action on October 9th for biosimilar, which is another important drug coming your way, pegfilgrastim. Does that continue to stay?
As of now, there is no change, but I cannot comment on whether there will be an extension or not. But at this point in time, US FDA have not given us any notification of an extension.
Right, Misha, good luck and thank you for joining us. Markets, meanwhile, what do we have there? Well, they're absolutely flat. The breadth is absolutely flat. So what we saw yesterday was